Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. I'm so excited to be sharing this build today because I'm finally posting another part of my state series here on the channel. If you're unfamiliar, every once in a while I will go on Zillow and look through some listings in various states in the US and build something based on what I find. I also do lots of random research on fun facts and just a little bit of information about the state and try to build a home based on that area. It's not going to be 100% accurate. It's supposed to be a little bit of fun, and I really enjoy these, and you seem to as well. So today we are tackling the state of Oregon, and as we build this on screen, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I found out about Oregon and also the pronunciation and why I'm saying it the way I am. So growing up, I always pronounced the state's name Oregon. However, when I was in college, there was a girl in my class who was from there, and she said it's pronounced Oregon, like organs in your body. So that's how I pronounce it now, but you can let me know if you're also from that state, how you pronounce it. I'd be very curious to know. But Oregon is a state in the Pacific Northwest region of the United States, and it borders Washington, Idaho, California, and Nevada, but there's rivers that are running amongst most of those boundaries. It became the 33rd state in the US on actually Valentine's Day in 1859, and the state capital of Oregon is Salem. But I think most of us are probably more familiar with one of their popular cities, which is Portland, Oregon. Also, I'd like to mention before we get into more of these facts, I am building this in the world of Brindleton Bay. A lot of the examples of homes I was finding were like near the water, on the water, and I thought this area made the most sense for what I was seeing in the homes I was looking at online. And so I'm just trying to mimic the look of it and also some of the landscaping. I decided to go ahead and build this in the fall, as we are now in the fall and the fall time in Oregon is so pretty. Oh my goodness, I needed to do that. So yeah, I'm just getting a little side yard here, fencing it in, and we'll decorate that towards the end of the build. But I just wanted to get an idea of the outside and do all the landscaping before we pop inside. So that is what's happening on screen right now. But anyway, I did decide to build this by the water, but Oregon is very geographically diverse. They have volcanoes, big bodies of water like this, evergreen and mixed forests, deserts, shrublands, like there's a lot there. I just decided to go with by the water because that's what I was seeing. I was mostly looking in Portland, the surrounding towns, and also Bend, Oregon. Those were the couple of places that I had been looking on Zillow for some inspiration. So that is where that came from. Anyway, around the back here, I'm just adding another bump out to get a little bit more shape to the build, but also to add a little bit more space on the interior. This ends up only being a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, but I absolutely adore the floor plan and just like the shape of it. It feels so realistic to me. I'm so happy with how this came out. If you like it, by the way, and you'd like to download it, it will be available in the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You could also find it under the hashtag Miss Gryphi, and that information will also be in the description down below as well. So, Oregon. They are the top lumber producer in all of the continuous United States, which I thought was really interesting. That's a huge part of what helps and runs their economy there, but also fishing and hydroelectric power. So I wanted to include some like fishing related things here. So obviously we're by the water. In Debug, we have some like fishing rods and stuff, but I didn't, or in Shalive, I'm not sure which one. I didn't include those, but I do have like a fish plaque on the inside in the wall. I think it's pretty cute, and I just wanted to have a couple of nods to things that I saw in my fun facts and research that I did throughout the home. So you'll see those as we go across it. So some of these facts are important or relevant to the build, and some aren't, as you might know if you've seen any other part of this series. And if you haven't, or if you'd like to just catch up and see what we have done so far, I will pop them on the screen right now so you can see all of the states that we have tackled already. But aside from that, there's also a playlist that you can check out down below that shows all of the states that we have done so far. But with that said, our next fact is just kind of random, which is Nike was started in Oregon. Or Oregon. Now I'm saying it both ways. And it's the largest public corporation, and it's headquartered in Beaverton. Also, Portland, Oregon has more breweries in any other city than any other city in the world. There's 60 breweries in its city limits, which is so much. Also, I did mention Bend, Oregon earlier, and that's one I'm familiar with because it's home to the last Blockbuster store in the world. And I have very fond memories of Blockbuster, and I just think that's so cool. So if you ever want to go to Blockbuster these days, it's in Bend, Oregon. So there you go. But back to some of the more unique aspects of Oregon and their geographical everything. I'm not good with words here, but they have the deepest lake in the US, which is called Crater Lake. It was formed from the remains of an ancient volcano, and it's known kind of worldwide for its crystal blue waters. It sounds really cool. I don't feel like I live anywhere near anything exciting, so reading about these things when I am doing these state builds always makes me feel like I want to go travel there immediately. Anyway, in this living room here, one thing that I did want to make sure to include was this fireplace from Eco Lifestyle. It looks kind of like a coal burning fireplace. There was a couple of things that I saw very often in all of the houses that I was finding when I was on Zillow, and those were things like built-ins all over the house, coal fireplaces, wood panelings, single-story homes, airplane paintings, carports. There was just all of that. So I tried to incorporate that as much as possible into this house. Also, I read something about biking trails being very popular here. So there's a bike outside and there's an old bike on the wall, and I just had fun trying to decorate this a little different than I normally would. So in addition to that big lake, Oregon has so many ghost towns. It holds the nation's top spot as the ghost town capital, with 80 ghost towns listed on the National Register. More than 80, actually. And then the one that has the funniest name is called Idiotville, which I quite appreciate. That's very fun. But I've never visited a ghost town. I think that'd be really interesting. Also, you might be familiar with Tillamook, the cheese company. Their cheese factory is the largest cheese factory in the world, and it's a popular tourist attraction. And it's located, of course, in Oregon. And apparently their ice cream is very good. I don't know if I've ever had it. I recognize the brand name, but I don't know if I've ever had it. Anyway, here I have this bike on the wall. I really wanted to add some flowers to the planters. This is a bike from Debug from Cottage Living. I just thought it looked really nice here. And over here, I'm just adding some more shelves, and I will be getting that fish plaque as well. Oh my gosh, I have so many more facts written down. Hopefully I can get through this. This is a little bit of a shorter build because of what I was seeing, single story, smaller homes. And I really fell in love with this sort of shape. So anyway, let's move on. The smallest river in the world is also located in Oregon. It is called the D River. It's located in Lincoln City, Oregon, and it's only 440 feet long. I think that is so cute, but apparently it's not that anymore because the title was lost in 1989, but it still popped up as we had the shortest river for some time, and now the Roe River in Montana holds that the record for the shortest. So oops. But I thought that was interesting nonetheless. I never really thought about, where's the shortest river? Oh, also Oregon is the only state that has a state nut, which I thought was interesting. I never really thought about it. But they have the state nut of hazelnuts, which I love. And apparently they produce and grow 99% of the U.S. hazelnuts. All of our hazelnuts are from there. I did not know that. I do love hazelnuts, so I thought that was interesting. And also, I knew this about New Jersey because it's up here near New England, but I didn't know Oregon is also one of the states that doesn't have self-serve gas stations. So if you're not near one of these or you haven't heard this before, obviously when you go to pump gas, most other places you just get out of the car and pump it. But in these states, you don't do that. You're not allowed to do that. There's somebody that attends the gas pumps and they pump your gas for you. I've always felt like that felt really awkward, but if you're from a place that has that, if you're from Jersey or Oregon, tell me about it. I'd be curious to hear your experience because I feel like I'd be so uncomfortable. So just very curious about that. Anyway, moving on into the dining room here, I just wanted like a cozy table and chairs, and then I end up having a built-in bar. I saw a lot of built-in everythings, but there were some built-in bars in like weird places in some of the houses I saw. Like I saw one like built-in under the TV. But I decided to just have one here in the dining room. I thought it looked quite nice. I ended up using one from my wedding stories and putting some shelves or some cabinetry on either side to make it like really built into the wall. But I think it looks really cute in the end. I really like this room. I was kind of thinking that this house belonged to a couple of Sims who their kids recently moved out, like graduated college, got places of their own. So they decided to move closer to the water. And so I was just thinking there's a couple living here. So it's a pretty small 1-bedroom house, but I think it's so cozy. And I thought that storyline fit very well for this particular home. So I have 2 more facts for you. One of them very random and one of them kind of related to why I picked this location for this house. So I guess I'll start with that one. There are 9 lighthouses that are standing along the Oregon coastline. The nation's most photographed lighthouse is the Hasida Head Lighthouse. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. But I wanted to build in Brindleton Bay because it's on the water and all the lighthouses, and it just felt like the right spot for this. So I was very happy about that. And then I'm going to save this one for last. This is the final one, and it just made me smile. Oregon comes in number 6 for the most Bigfoot sightings in the U.S. So it's a decent place to spot Bigfoot, with Washington being number 1. So you might just want to head over the border to Washington to find Bigfoot sooner. But you might have a good chance here. Number 6, that's pretty good. Anyway, this is the one and only primary bedroom in this house. I decided to use this bed and these bedside tables from high school years and kind of was inspired by those colors. Also, fun fact, I wasn't really trying to make the other side of the bed accessible, like walking through there. I figured your Sims could scoot over. But I accidentally, when I was playtesting this, clicked on the other side of the bed. And so the Sim left the house and climbed in through the window to get onto the other side of the bed. So that's a little fun thing that could happen if you're playing in this house. I thought it was pretty silly. It did use a lot of the windows that your Sims can climb in and out of in this build, which are, of course, from high school years. I think they are so pretty because they're so simple. It's just a bonus that they're also functional as windows you can open and close and have your Sims actually move through. But anyway, we're back outside now, adding some finishing touches. I wanted to make sure we had a mailbox, a trash can, decorating the yard. I also ended up adding some pumpkins outside. I didn't want to overly decorate for fall, but I wanted there to be a little nod to the fact that it's fall. And of course, I have the game set to autumn. The side yard here, I was thinking there used to be some trees here that they had died and there was just stumps left. And we have some planters and just some more greenery and stuff. Nothing too exciting in this side yard. I just wanted it to look like maybe you could do a lot in the summer if you wanted to, but for right now it's fall and we just have a cozy place for your Sims to sit down and eat and a couple of plants over here as well. And that should be it. And we're going to be heading on into screenshots. I really hope you enjoyed this build. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. You can also click that bell to be notified of every single time I upload a new video. And please let me know what state I should do next. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, everyone.